today I'm going to give you my favourite top films, documentaries, series on Netflix. I like listening to other people's choices and views on Netflix stuff because at the moment I'm really struggling with what to watch on Netflix. So I'm going to give you my choices. I really don't like how this is more full than this. I need to order some more photos to finish it off. But with COVID I don't have a lot of photos for this year. Because what even has this year been? Anyway, let's go on with things on Netflix you have to watch. Most of these are documentaries because I just love a documentary. But I have tried to mix things up. And I would say like top 10, but as we know, I don't stick to numbers. I add things. So let's say 10 plus Netflix things. Something I've watched recently is A Secret Love. This was so sad. I would definitely recommend watching it, but just know that you're going to cry. It's an hour and 22 minutes. I think I cried for an hour at least. Maybe like 40 minutes to an hour I cried. I'll try and explain it without ruining anything. It's basically about a couple who are gay and they live through the 40s. Obviously back then it was outrageous if you were gay. It's so sad, like some of the things that happened and that they couldn't do because of this, and that they had to hide it from their families, and they hid it from their kids and friends and everything. They lived their whole life a secret, which is mad. Like they couldn't be who they are because of society back in the day, which is disgusting. Yeah, so they would just tell people that they were friends or cousins, I think they'd say. They lived together, but everyone just thought they were either friends or cousins. I can't remember off the top of my head. But very good, very sad. But I'm glad that they've now come out and are happy in life. It's really sad. I'm gonna cry just thinking about it. Money Heist. This is sick. Like everyone has to watch it. First time I started watching it I was like, oh god, because it's in a different language. And for me, I don't like subtitles, but it's got voiceovers in different languages, so I just put the voiceover of English, of course. It's hard to get used to it in the first episode because their mouths move differently to how they speak, but eventually you do not realise, you just completely forget about it. But it's a must. If you can get over that, definitely watch it. They're about to make their final series, which is really sad. I wish it just kept going. It's such a good series. And you get so attached to the characters. It's really fucked up because they're all the bad guys, but you all want them to do well. You want them to do this heist and successfully get the money. You become so attached to the characters. Very good. Definitely watch that. Three Identical Strangers is another documentary. It's mad how this could have happened. It's about triplets and they all get split up at birth. And then they find each other later on in life. I won't tell you how they found each other because it's mad. Like, it's a once in a lifetime thing that could possibly happen. But the fucked up thing is what people did when they were younger. So they used to split up triplets and do experiments of how they would develop. They'd have this one guy going to each of their houses without the parents that adopted them and the children knowing that they had two other brothers. So even the people that adopted these boys didn't know that they had two other siblings. They didn't know that they were triplets, which is awful. So even when the person went to watch the boys to do the experiment of how they develop, the parents just thought it was what every single person goes through for adoption. So the parents didn't actually know that it was for an experiment. And they made sure that all three parents that adopted were from different backgrounds. So you'd have working class, middle class and upper class. And that was also part of the experiment, to see how they would grow up as boys. It's definitely something I recommend. It's very interesting, and how they got away with that is just madness to me. Jeffrey Epstein, filthy rich. Jeffrey Epstein, filthy rich. Jeffrey Epstein, filthy rich. This is a must. It's very fucked up, but I believe that everyone needs to watch it. And it's sad that so many people with power and money were involved, but still got away with it somehow. And that's part of the problem in our society. If you're rich and you've got power in society, it seems like you can do whatever the fuck you want. He died in prison. Now, a lot of people think someone outside paid for someone inside the jail to kill him, because what they found is there's no way that he could have killed himself. The way that he died is not equivalent to hanging yourself or killing yourself. So there's a lot of behind the scenes conspiracy, and it's sad that Jeffrey can't live in jail for what he's done. If he was still alive, maybe other people would have been caught and put away. You should watch it because it's disgusting how much he got away with. Serial Killer with Piers Morgan. This is very short and it's something you can watch while doing something else. You can kind of see I can't seem to find it, but there's 2 things with Piers Morgan and he interviews serial killers. The people on there just lie through their teeth and are so manipulative. Like, the fact that people can do something so awful and they just sit there like nothing's happened. They're talking to the camera like nothing's happened. And when they're lying, they have no emotion. And if they do, they're crying because they're telling Piers that they're the victim. And that's why they cry. Scared Beyond Straight is very good. It's like a documentary. It's some good, some bad. Don't watch them in order. And it's very American. And it's about kids that have been really badly behaved and their parents sent them to a day in jail and they become like a prisoner and see what it's like to make them stop doing all this shit that they're doing. Down to Earth. This is so good. I'm still in between watching them, but it's so interesting. They go around the world and explore different things, different cultures. That's all I'm going to say because I don't want to ruin anything. But it's very interesting. 100 Humans. Now this is just a silly little thing, but I found it quite interesting. They get 100 humans and they do different tasks and different situations to see how out of 100 humans, how people would react, what people will do, and it's an easy watch. Like, you can just sit and watch it. 100 humans from like age 18 to about 90, and they see in different age groups, in different situations, in different gender groups, etc. And it's so interesting. Like, in one of them they put them in age groups and they do like 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50 and 50 plus, and there's one person at the desk with the instructions and a sort of microphone to talk to them, and there's one person who sits there with the headphone in to pass over the instructions. Then the rest of the group is building and taking on the instructions. And it's so fascinating to see how different age groups work and who finishes the job properly first. Tiny House Nation. Now, I quite like little DIY house vibe kind of things. My dad's got me into it. It's these 2 guys who help out different people in different situations, whether that's they want to move into a tiny home, their home is being wrecked and they need to move into a tiny home, it's cheaper, it's this, that, the other. They help people move into tiny homes, and it's so interesting and fascinating to see how they do that and how people downsize, getting rid of so many things in your house to downsize into a smaller house. 60 Days In. Now this is kind of a documentary series thing, and they get people from the outside to go into jail as actual inmates to get an insight of what the jail needs to improve on. They have a look at things like who's the leader in the cell, who makes all these extra drugs or knives or anything like that, who's the troublemakers, who does this, that and the other. It's so interesting, and some people really struggle in it. There's one guy that does so well, and then after 60 days they come out and they give back information that they found. None of the police know about this. Everyone in the jail, about 3 people know. And then also the inmates who go in don't know if anyone else is in there with them as undercover. So they're in it on their own basically. They get given a fake trial, they get given a fake sentence, so if anyone asks, that's what they have to feed back. Outer Banks. This is a series, don't know how to explain it without ruining it, so 4 young kids who, one of them, his dad's gone missing, and they try to figure out how he's gone missing, and they come into lots of different obstacles and different people that stop him doing that, but they also know lots of things about it but aren't telling them. Very interesting. Can't explain it very well, but it's very interesting. Kissing Booth, I think most people have seen this, but I think you do need to see it. I think I prefer the first one to the second one, but the second one's still good, but I think I prefer the first one. It's always the first one that you enjoy. Dead to Me. You have to watch Dead to Me. So interesting, and I think there's another series coming out. It's mad. It's actually mad. I need a different word to mad. It's crazy. It's good. It's so worth the watch. I'm going to stop there because I will bang on and bang on. And there's so many more that you should see. But these are the main ones that came to mind and ones I've watched recently. I hope you enjoyed. I hope this gave you at least one thing that you haven't watched to watch. And let me know if you've got any suggestions for me, because I'm struggling to find something on Netflix at the moment. I feel like I've watched everything. Obviously I haven't, but there's nothing that springs to mind or makes me want to watch it when I go through. So if you've got any suggestions, please let me know. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, share this with your friends and comment down below. Thank you for watching. Bye.